the record shows, there's no secret about it, that you developed hearing difficulties, and not surprised, loud music all the time, night after night, night after night. What can you tell me about the experience of your fearing that you were going deaf and you had to really take yourself offline?
Yeah, the first thing is when you're actually told that. The first thing I did was I went outside to the car and I looked down and I just went, all right, it's not cancer. Which is a stupid and morose thing to say, but it was the only thing I could think of to make myself better. Then I think it was the loneliness, the awkwardness, the sitting at dinner tables with people and just starting to nod.
To fake
it. Yeah, to fake it and nod and just go. And it's you know, it's horrid. Thankfully, these last 2.5 years, we've been working with this wonderful man called Stephen Ambrose, who is now got this close to these new pieces that he's got for me. If you heard them, Dan, I'll put him in touch with what it is basically a raisinette in your ears, and the things at the back, they're pumps. And so basically the whole idea is the brain really doesn't care where it's getting the sound from. So what he's created is 2 prosthetic eardrums.
Yeah.
You know, I know what you're going through. You feel so alone the first 2 or 3 months, you know, when I suddenly realized, well, I'm going to have to get hearing aids. That's what old men have. And then you suddenly realize, I am an old man. You know. There'd be no more 60th birthday parties for Brian. You know, it was a thing. Then I looked at other people, and then it was amazing how many people contacted me and said, hey, listen, you know, I've been having hearing problems, and it just happens, you know, bits start falling off you when you get past 70.
Well, tell me about it.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
But, Brian, you mentioned you'd take yourself away from the band. And you said, among other things, you felt lonely during this period when you realized your hearing was going.
Yeah.
Tell me about that loneliness feeling, because
well,
you were right at the peak, man.
Yeah.
And then you'd taken off.
Yeah, well, there's literally nothing you can do about it. It's, you know, it's like being shot on the battlefield, you know, it's your turn. And the lonely feeling is the fact that, you know, a lot of it's self-inflicted, you know, you just say, I'm just going to go. For me, you know, I mean, I'll be quite honest with you, I went into my office and I buried my head in a bottle of whiskey, good whiskey. And the friends around us were fantastic. The first phone call I got was from Joe Walsh. He's going, how you doing? You know, just great. And then the next one was from Billy Connolly, you know, and then all the phone calls started coming in, support, you know, it was wonderful, you know, and the letters from the fans, and, you know, and it just made us feel good again.
Do you remember the first time you saw or heard Jimi Hendrix?
Absolutely. He was on at the Club A Go-Go in Newcastle, and I couldn't afford to get in, so I did what every lad did. I got down on my hands and knees and crawled in under the box office. And when I was talking to Sting said, I was at that concert. I said, you were? I said, I snuck in under the thing. She said, was that you? How strange is that? And I remember I was right at the back trying to hide, and I was hating. I just said, and all we saw was meow, and then his guitar went through the roof. He went, yeah, because the roof was so low. And we didn't realize that was the very first show he played in England. But he was just a phenomenon. He was a man who knew no boundaries. He just knew he was good. And if you look at the old footage of him talking, it was just this amazing flow. You know, he just spoke, and it was beautiful the way he spoke. It was almost like singing when he spoke. It was just a one-off, you know, member of the 27 Club, as they call it. You know, these people who died at the age of 27.
Yeah.
It's a strange thing.
But when you saw him, is it fair or too much to say it was a transforming moment for you to see him?
Well, I wish I could have seen him at all. You know, all I saw was the tops of the guitars and a few bits of ribbon up the top of his head. But it was something special, but the sound was bloody awful. I mean, it was bloody awful. It was, you knew it was something fantastic, and everybody wanted to see this guy. You know, he was big before people had heard him.
But the acoustics were terrible, isn't it?
Oh, it was the go. It was jam packed. You know, it was way above what it should have been.
What's the difference between hard rock and heavy metal?
Well, heavy metal, I think, once again, Roger Daltrey answered it, and I think and I'm complete complaints. There's very few rock and roll bands left in the world. The Rolling Stones is one. AC/DC is definitely one, and the other ones I'm trying to think of. And as Roger said, he said, you, because he talks like that, Roger. Yeah, no, he's Cockney, isn't he? Yeah. And he said, well, you's a rock band, innit? Right, he said, because we right on the beat. And the thing was, if you look at Phil, he's one of the best in the world. Phil Rudd is a drummer, you know, that makes things swing by not playing. And when he's on the beat, he's so far back, you think he's going to fall off the chair. And when he hits it, it creates a thing called swing. Now, they had it way back in the old days with swing, and if you listen to the Stones and Charlie Watts, you know, when they're going, you know, brown sugar, they make me feel so good. It rocks. Hard rock is great stuff. Now, AC/DC have done a couple of songs like that, you know, but it's just, you know, it's just right on the beat, and it's pounding, and it's great stuff, and I love it. And but there is sometimes a subtle difference, and it took Roger Daltrey literally to explain it to us, and he'll tell you, watch the program, he goes deeper into it, and but it's a fascinating thing. But at the end of the day, it's all great music, and you know.
Well, fair or unfair to say that heavy metal is less melodic than hard rock?
Yeah, absolutely. It's go for the throat time, and some of it is sensational in its intensity. Metallica made a particularly grand fist. Laws, you know, is another drummer that is just right there. And, I mean, he is one of the best in the world. I mean, Phil's hero drummer was Ringo Starr. And he said, you know, Ringo Starr was one of the, still is, one of the greatest drummers, and I agree with him totally. You know, but, you know, to be surrounded by the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, you know, and you're sitting playing drums for them three, you know, it's going to be a pretty tough gig.
I never heard him described that way. We had Ringo Starr on this program recently. By the way, he was terrific.
Yeah, he's lovely.
But I never heard it put that way with the Beatles.
Uh-huh.
In effect, you had what you call, quote, Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost, and the drummer, Ringo.
And then I was the drummer for the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. It's a pretty tough gig, you know. But he acquitted himself for that. I thought he was brilliant. You know, there's so many great acts and different things out there now. It's almost hard to put your finger on anything in music anymore. Now it's just with the internet and the different outlets. Yeah. It's just the music is everywhere. It's readily available to anyone, anytime. You know.